Welcome to another edition of Strange New Adventures. We are doing Star Trek Adventures, the starter set of 2nd edition, and we are in Act 1 of the first story in the starter set, Incursion Point. We have gotten through the first 2 scenes, and things are... They're going. Wine is being poured in real life. Beers are being had all over the place because... I think everybody knows some shit is about to hit the fan. Just a quick reminder, we have 2 players who are not with us tonight, but they will be off like you're watching a Star Trek episode in different scenes. So these are the characters we're going to have tonight. We'll have Lieutenant Commander Ven Jaxa, Lieutenant Zoe Hernandez, Commander Xanthus Thravik, and Dr. Voraal. And then just another note for those listening. If you're listening and you've played Star Trek Adventures and you noticed we were playing wrong last week, we were. That's part of the fun of all learning how to play together. We made mistakes. We have mostly remedied them. I'm sure we'll make more tonight. But that is the fun of playing. And we are going in to Scene 3, The Foundation Shake. When we last left you, the crew was headed towards... the assorted buildings. There's these, if you have ever read the starter set, there's a map and there's buildings a little bit past the central plaza. And they were going to see if there are transporters in those buildings. But let's set the scene, shall we? The air is thick with tension as the city groans beneath your feet. A tremor surges through the city. At first, it's just a subtle vibration, a distant, almost rhythmic pulse beneath your boots, but within seconds, it intensifies. The ground lurches violently, sending cracks splintering across the pavement. A distant crash echoes through the city as a towering support strut shears away from one of the dome structures, crumbling like brittle glass in the abyss below. Then your communicator chirps, cutting through the noise. A frantic voice crackles over the channel. One of the Challenger science officers, barely keeping their composure. "Commodore! The computer's been monitoring the city's superstructure and modeling the rate of degradation. Our original estimate of 5 hours has proven optimistic. I'm sorry to report, we have less than 2 hours before total structural collapse." As the transmission ends, another tremor rumbles beneath you, knocking some civilians to their knees. You barely have time to react before you hear a new, more ominous sound. An unnatural, warbling hum rises in frequency. Commodore Xen doesn't hesitate in this situation, leaving Commander Thravik in command on the ground and waves running refugees aboard a Challenger shuttlecraft, telling the pilot to help with the evacuation effort on the ground as she flies the refugees back herself. Across the plaza, reality itself seems to flicker, bending inward like light distorted by a heat wave. A jagged violet-hued tear in space blinks into existence just meters away, crackling with unstable energy. From within, tendrils emerge, coiling as though tasting the air. Moments later, another follows, then another. The Bryozoans are coming again, and this time the rift isn't just letting them through, it's pulling parts of the city inward. The people of Cressida cry out in terror as sections of the plaza begin shifting unnaturally towards the rift, like metal drawn to a magnet. A support tower groans under the sudden stress, listing sideways as its framework begins to sway. With all of this, Challenger shuttles continue to arrive, but with the platform shifting rapidly, pilots are having a hard time finding stable landing zones, forcing them to abandon attempts and circle back around. This is creating an evacuation bottleneck on multiple fronts. The time for careful evacuation is over. If you don't act now, hundreds could be lost before your very eyes. What do you do?
Well, no pressure, I guess.
No pressure at all. None.
We got to figure out a way to get more people off the planet at a time than just our transporter buffers.
Right, the shuttles aren't cutting it.
Yeah, I mean, the shuttles...
we better hustle.
The shuttles will land, but it's taking a lot longer than you want them to because they're anticipating and not anticipating these shifts, and basically it's not the Earth because it's a floating platform, but the ground beneath them.
Or do we have a bigger map of the city, or is this what we have?
This is what we have.
Okay. Let's go.
Alright, so you guys are still gonna go to the look for another transporter, correct?
I mean, we can't. I mean, the three of us, we can't. There are no more shuttles. All the shuttles are being piloted and going back and forth. There's one transporter, and you and Ensign are handling those. So I guess the three of us, the best thing we could do is try and find another way
Some
off the planet, or a way to stop it from happening.
Or just another floating platform that we could shove people onto, one that isn't falling apart, maybe.
Right, a way off of this platform.
Yeah.
Although the rest of the planet isn't long for the universe either, from what it sounds like.
Yeah, because of the time, because it's compressing and contracting. Right. I don't think we it's the 2 hour. We've got the 2 hours period.
Yeah, that's a fact. It you guys had already spent, let's call it like an hour 45, and now it's like it's a real 2 hours that you have.
Right.
If you guys want to go off and do that, I'm going to stay here and make sure nobody gets sucked in to these holes.
I just from a story point of view, I would recommend. I think Ensign's.
You want me to go with?
Okay. I think staying as a group in this situation, just because I'm saying that as GM, because I feel like if you don't go with them, there might not be a lot for you to do, and I want you to be able to, make some decisions.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Hint.
Okay. So you guys are walking to these buildings.
We're walking.
We're walking.
Okay, you are walking. Fair point. You are walking briskly towards.
We are running.
You are running.
Yeah.
You're doing the Starfleet Boimler run towards these assorted buildings. You see the biggest one, this rectangular one that's off to the side, and you enter there. When you do enter, you see very well placed signs. There's a sign leading you below, which says transporters. You also see on the level below that reactor core. And then, other signs like infirmary, mess hall, or, like cafe, because this is like a planet too, medical cafe, things you would, find in a building like
Gift
this.
shop.
Yeah, gift shop. Yeah. Might want to stop in there, get a t-shirt real quick.
Is there a Sparrow here?
Roll to scan for one, now. Please.
There's got to be a Sparrow here, right? This is like a transport hub.
Yeah.
All
right.
I think we've got signs here. So, Lieutenant Commander, do you want to go check out the core?
Who?
That's you.
Lieutenant Commander. You.
I didn't hear the lieutenant part. That's why I was confused. Yes, I will check out the
Commander.
I mean, you should still be addressed as Commander.
That's true. Yeah, Commander. Yeah. Probably just Commander. You're both Commanders.
Well, yeah, but he'd be Lieutenant Commander, though, correct?
He would, but usually Lieutenant Commanders are, except in Voyager, which was done improperly all the time, are referred to as Commander.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Jackson, if you want to go out. Yep. And let's go check out, make sure the transporter is working.
I think I can probably do that.
I've
got a little bit of engineering.
Should I go with the Lieutenant Commander in case the reactor is radiative in some way?
Sure. That sounds great.
Okay, so Dr. Voraal and Commander Ven Jaxa are going down to the reactor, and Commander Thravik and Lieutenant Hernandez are going to the transporter bay.
Right.
As you walk down, you all notice through a window, right, that the lift, there is a communal lift that gets everybody up to the upper areas of where you guys already were, where you started the initial evacuation and had the initial, encounter with the Bryozoans or Bryozoans. Sorry, I'm going to butcher their name all night. You see it's infested with them, and that is preventing a lot of refugees from making it topside to evacuate. So keep that in mind, because the Bryozoans are here for a reason. I would also just put that out there. They're at this specific location near this building for a reason. Okay. If you look at the map, you see where it says lower level. So like they're directly under the building, and it doesn't say it here, but assume that there is a lift that comes up here. Okay.
But there are stairs in case of emergency, right?
There are stairs in case of emergency. And as you already know, there is a transporter pad in there. So
Hopefully we can get that working.
Didn't Lieutenant Hernandez determine that these plants thrived on the radiation?
Yes.
Yes.
So what if we shut the core down? What would that
I'm
do?
assuming the platform's going to start falling faster. But
I suppose it depends on what the
good
core
point.
is actually doing.
yeah, what's
Right.
the core actually helping or hindering? And maybe it's not coming from the core.
Well, if I succeed, I have an intense scrutiny, which will allow me to ask a question, and I'll be able to ask if the reactor, shutting the reactor down will help or hinder us.
okay. Where is that on your sheet? If you can
Incisive scrutiny underneath abilities and talents.
Yes, you could do that, but you do need to succeed at a task using controller insight first, I believe.
Yes, correct. Okay, so I want to, for insight, let's see. I would have to scan the reactor to see if there's some sort of leak. Would that allow me to ask the question if I succeed?
Yes, I'll allow that. And being an engineer, I feel like that's a pretty typical scan. So we'll just do, we'll just make that a difficulty of 1.
But I get to roll 2 dice against that one.
You do get to roll 2 no matter what. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I should be no matter what. Sorry, I should have given you. So yeah, control. Yeah, I'll give you control and engineering. So you're looking for a 15.
I had an 11 and a 16.
Okay, so you have the 1, so the
Right.
16 doesn't matter. So yeah, that's a success. So you can ask your question.
Okay. If we shut the reactor down, will that hasten the collapse of the platform?
I'll answer it this way, how you worded it earlier, whether it'll help you or hinder you. I will say
Okay.
that shutting down the core will hinder you, and that there is something with the core that could help you.
Maybe we can draw them to the core,
Yes, just thinking that.
clear a path, get it nice and hot. But then will we wind up hurting people that we are trying, or can we use the transporter to get them there?
Ooh, I like
What
that.
kind of transporter am I looking at? Is this like a place
You're-
to place on the planet, or will this get people up to the ship? Because that will.
No, so that's a good question. It is a, like, if you do you remember when in Search for Spock,
Spaceballs.
like Uhura's transporter bay, like it's like, it looks like a Starship transporter bay. It's a normal transporter bay,
Okay.
which will beam up to Challenger, and I will, because Chris asked a question last week and I didn't have an answer then because I didn't do my research properly. Remind Chris that you have Challenger to help you, and that Challenger does have cargo transporters.
Okay. And in this time period, we have to go transporter pad to transporter pad. We can't beam them up.
Correct. You still have to do it.
Okay.
Still has to be transporter to transporter.
Okay.
All I got out of that is there's somebody stuck in a closet in your transporter room.
Can neither confirm nor deny. it's the Sparrow pizza guy.
No.
So if we have the Challenger helping us, they have the cargo hold,
Mhm.
and the cargo ships. How could we get the cargo ships to us?
Well, not cargo ships.
Like a cargo
Yeah,
bay.
Just the cargo
Cargo
bay
bay.
with a cargo
Bays that we can beam
Like when I say
directly.
cargo transporter, I mean like you know how the Enterprise D has like a transporter pad, like a cargo one.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Not safe for biological unless some science happens, or engineering rather.
I'm good at science.
Mm.
So, I guess the question is, if we were to do that, we're down here. Is that like asking the ship, somebody on the ship with the expertise to do it?
So
and it will just
you would
happen.
you would need to have Challenger assist with that. And if that's something you choose to do, I'll obviously give you guys more information then.
If it's not safe for human transport, then what are we
What about the plants?
planning? They're alive, so I would
Okay.
assume not safe.
I'm just trying to go through all the options.
Well, they potentially could be modified, maybe, to do the job of what we want them to do.
I mean, if it's
The
between
plants
them
of the
and
transporter.
The transporter, and then I don't know, maybe there's something with more pattern enhancers.
Just as you guys continue to talk this out, people are not
Dying.
Well, people are possibly dying, and they're not able. Like, people are starting to fight each other, and like it's chaos because they can't get to this lift because the tendrils, they're snapping at them, and they're completely blocking the path here. So, just be aware that time is ticking.
All right. So, what are our options?
I think we need to get to the engineering section here and start figuring out what we can actually do with the core.
Okay, so we know that it's potentially hindering us, but it's also helping us at the same time. So my thought, we'd have to draw the plants to the reactor core somehow. At the same time, we'd have to figure out a way to, once we get the plants over, I have to work with the engineer on the Challenger to somehow modify their cargo bay to accept biologicals.
Okay.
If I
Commander, does that sound
go ahead.
that sound viable?
Yeah. I also can do some engineering and computer stuff, so
That's true.
I can help
I'm
in
not quite sure
one
how
of
to help
those
you
two.
with that.
There was my Alexa. There it is. Sorry.
Yeah, so Commander Thraffic, just to point out, like, Commodore Xen has left you, like, these decisions are up to you. If I could just point out that while you're onto something with the core and the radiation and the Bryozoans, I think you guys might want to maybe reverse your thinking, if I may suggest.
Draw the people to the core?
Well, the transporter, if you hook up the transporter and you're
juice it.
Yeah, if you're able to juice it and you're able to do this, you can, maybe
Zap the plants.
Sorry,
Yeah,
no.
What if we
move the-
increase the radiation to draw the plants to the core?
What if we move the core with the transporter?
Are you asking me?
It may not.
I'm
work
asking
then.
everybody. That's crazy, probably.
Yeah.
That's like a chicken and the egg thing. I think we should just transport a lot more people than we normally could by like boosting the power to the transporters.
I think that might be the best thinking.
But
goes
the
to
plants
11,
are
right?
also trying to get here. So what are we going to do about them?
You may not like it, but we might have to fight them.
Am I going to have to mind meld a plant? Is that what we're doing here?
I don't think you want to get that close to it, do you?
Determined if it's one creature or many creatures.
So in the notes, in what I gave you, like, do you remember when you guys hurt them in scene 1?
Yeah,
And when you hit 2, the other went down with it.
Right.
So something to think about there. Jesse, just because we talked about it last week, I just want to remind you, like, you, because I didn't have the information again and we talked about it, like, that radiation is a big deal, and like you have that information now that's like advantageous to you. And the core is like, since you have that information, like
emanating radiation
that
the plants
specific
want to eat or be near.
Yeah.
So here's a fun fact. If we crank the core to 11, I'm going to assume it does more of that radiation. The plants will go there. We just got to get out of that before it turns sideways and get as many people out of there with the transporter before they eat it, before they eat the core, I guess.
Then do we risk bringing people upstairs to the newly found transporter pad while we're lowering the plants down, or do we ditch the transporter pad?
No, I think we need to use the transporter pad. We need the extra oomph. So yeah, we need to draw them down so that we can get the lift working for the people.
Well, the lift working, so you can get like if you theoretically could draw people away, obviously, I mean, draw the Bryozoans away, obviously that could get people going in either direction. That could get them going towards the transporters or up towards where our red shirt is and our shuttlecraft. So options.
But yeah, so I think we should draw them down there so that we can clear the people out.
Okay. What do we do if they like turn off the core? They're gonna go at it. We don't know what they're gonna do to it.
Just in real world play, like a few minutes have gone by here already. So,
I think even if we get a large batch of people out with another transporter, it's worth it.
Okay.
I would also suggest real quick that the transporter, you should see if you could even do that first.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go upstairs if that's cool with you, Commander Thread.
Yes. Go check out the transporter.
Okay.
And Jaxa can go check out the core like we'd talked about.
Okay.
See what we can do with it. I'm not sure what Dr. Voraal would like to do.
I'm going with Jaxa.
Okay.
I think the doctor should come with me just so we can monitor the radiation situation.
Sounds good.
And have another set of hands.
Yes.
And
that too.
I will head up with Hernandez for backup.
Okay. All right. So Dr. Voraal and Lieutenant Ven Jaxa, they head to the core. Commander Thravik and Lieutenant Hernandez, they head to the the transporter bay of this building. I don't know which group wants to go first.
I think we need to check out the transporter first.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how many D20s I can use for doing this. So do I need to test to see if it's working and then see if I can modify it? Or can I do that all at once?
I think that you should probably make sure that this transporter is active first.
Cool. Can I just flip a button or do I have to like roll?
No, I mean, you're a Starfleet officer. You would know. So key in some things and see if it's operational. I'll just, Yeah.
Is it on?
Transporters, you already noticed the core is thrumming. Like the transporter is at least at this end functional for now.
Okay. I'm gonna try and make this safe for people.
So that transporter is safe for people.
Oh.
But if you want it to go to Challenger and use the cargo bay, because you like if you're just going transporter to transporter, it's not going to be enough within the 2 hours. So you need to get in touch with Challenger and see if this shit can work.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
All right. Transporter chief here. Are you calming, I assume?
Yeah. Hey, transporter chief, I want to transport people into the cargo bay. How can we do that?
Theoretically, it's possible, Lieutenant. The thing is, it was only ever meant for cargo, so we're going to have to take some time to reconfigure it. If we can get this to work, though, it'll take an hour.
Shit.
You don't have an hour. Is that like engineer's hour where it's really 30 minutes?
That's a real hour, but if you're able to, that's going to get a lot of people off the ground.
Yeah. Can I do something to help him speed it up?
I'll allow if you want to get crazy and give me some technobabble bullcrap, yes, but do you want to start the project and then see? Like, do you want me as the ship to start reconfiguring, and then you could see if there's a way for you to help?
Dravik, you're the boss.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so then, all right, this would be a control and engineering with a difficulty of 2. Because the ship is helping, you'd get an extra dice with the ship. So, but you'd be looking for, control and engineering. So you're looking for a 12. And
12.
Simon, you might have to help me here real quick. How does this work with a ship rolling a die? I would say that would be like computers and engineering, but I'm not sure how that it rolls 1 die instead of 2.
So I'm not rolling a die.
You are gonna roll. You're gonna roll your own to see if we can get the process started. And you could have Commander Thravik help you too if you wanted.
Yeah.
And then
I may not know a lot, but I can attempt.
Yeah, I mean, unless you roll a 1, I think it's good to help.
Well, 1's good.
I mean, as well, right? It's funny. Yes. Oh my god. Sorry. I'll get used to this, I promise.
Sorry, I'm just having Simon be my rule guy real quick to see if the ship does in fact need to roll, which I think it should in this situation because something's being reconfigured aboard the Challenger.
Yeah, maybe.
Because in my opinion, that's a computers and an engineering role for the ship.
I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, the ship only gets to roll 1 dice towards the project.
I mean, I would kind of look at it as an assist right now.
Okay. So
since I am not going to find this answer for us very quickly.
No, that's fine. Let's see if you succeed.
Would be 1 die.
Yeah, let's see if you succeed first. That's a control and engineering, so you'd be looking for a 12 with a difficulty of 2. Commander Thravik, do you want to help, or it's up to you?
Yes, I would help.
Okay.
I'm gonna. This involves computer systems.
It does.
So I get 1 bonus d20.
Oh, you do? You might not need to help then if she can roll 3. If you don't want to waste
I'm
it.
gonna roll 4 actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I've got when Hernandez attempts engineering or science, the first bonus d20 is free, so long as I succeeded at a previous task in the same scientific field in the same adventure, which I did.
Yep.
So that's 4. I can also, if we want, spend a momentum to switch it from engineering to science, which raises me by 2. But that costs 1 momentum. Anybody?
Is that up to my discretion, by the way? If you can switch it, or is that something you can absolutely do?
So it says, did the reading. Hernandez absorbs information quickly and knows how to put it to good use.
Okay, then yeah.
So I read the manual really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the 5 momentum. If you want.
We've got 5.
Go ahead and spend it.
Yeah. All right.
Use a momentum. This seems like a good time for it.
All right. I think that's all I got.
Okay, so you're rolling how many?
So I need a 14. I'm rolling 4 dice. And the extra die that you had mentioned before is the computer rolling the die, right? Or should I also?
I'm rolling as the ship.
Okay. 4 dice, just for me. We've got an 8, a 2, a 3, and a 9.
So that's awesome. That's a big win. And the ship is rolling a computers and engineering for a 10. And that's a success as well. So here's the deal. Everything's great. Like, this is going to work. Okay. No matter what, unless you check no babble into me being nice and you coming up with some crazy shit. This is going to take 1 hour, which you do have. And this it's going to be tight no matter what, but this will be done in an hour.
Okay.
Do we have a rough estimate how many people this will take off the planet?
A lot. We don't need to put a number on it, but a lot.
A lot. All right. Then it's in my eyes, it's worth the gamble.
Okay.
Yes.
Tips the scales.
So Lieutenant Hernandez, like, this was your thing. Like, what does this look like to you now that this is a success?
Now that are we talking about right now or an hour from now?
Right now. Yeah.
I am talking to engineering. I'm seeing what I can do down here to make sure that everything is compatible. I am full on like techno babbling, all the techno babble words that I'm not good at.
Okay, cool.
Pattern enhancers, buffers, and the core computer. Geordie LaForge.
Cool.
Hey, Macarena.
Hey,
can they send down more pattern enhancers before they start doo-wopping the thingamajigs up there?
Didn't think we had more, did we?
Or are we out?
So, I mean, the ship does. You don't on the planet.
Can they send them down to this transporter pad?
I would also remind you that Commodore Xen is also on the ship right now. So she could theoretically bring them back down in a shuttle. But that's kind of, I don't know, I feel like cheating because she's not here to do the role. So I'd say you could try to transport them down. There's interference that you have to be wary of too. So this might be a little bit difficult right now with like subspace anomalies and shit happening.
I think we should try and get more pattern enhancers if we can.
Okay. Commander Thravik, are you still on the line with Transporter Chief?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Commander, we've still got we've got 2 sets left of pattern enhancers. I could try sending them down. There's a lot of interference right now.
Yeah, do we want to transport them down or do we want to send them down in a shuttle? Sending it down in a shuttle is going to take longer, but we also have an hour.
Good point.
Send one by shuttle, send one by transport. So if the one doesn't make
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That way we get them. Yep.
There we
Transport one and...
But I'm not in the room.
Transport one and put one on
table
the shuttle.
talk.
Sorry, we're on
You can have your table talk. That's fine. All right, Commander. I'll try to send a set down to you now, and I'll let Commodore Xen know to expect a package of the other set to come back down with her when she comes back down to the platform. Attempting transport now. Commander Thravik, can you roll for me a control and engineering for a difficulty of 3, please? You're looking for a 12, difficulty 3.
Right. So obviously we'll need to use some momentum to get an extra die. Otherwise we won't complete this, correct?
Is there anything that you have that could help with this?
No.
Or anybody else?
Well, I add threat.
You have determination?
I have intense.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to help you. You do have Lieutenant Hernandez in the room who could assist you. Well, yeah, I guess because she's got some engineering and she's like reads all the books, so she could help you too. If you don't want to spend the momentum, that'd be 1 die. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, go ahead.
On that last roll, we had a lot of successes. Were we over the difficulty? Does that mean we bank?
So she rolled 4 successes.
And we only
needed 2. I needed 2?
Yep.
Did we bank the other 2?
Do you always bank the other 2, or is it if they're criticals, or if it's just the extras are always banked? I might have the info here too.
I don't remember.
Sorry. Didn't mean to complicate it.
No, this is good. This is what we need to know.
If you scored more successes than the task difficulty, each extra success becomes 1
beautiful
point of momentum.
There it is. So you're back at what, 6 right now? Yeah, 6. So yeah, you could spend the momentum for sure.
I think we should spend 1, and I could still have Lieutenant Hernandez help. Correct?
With 1 die. Yep, you could.
Yeah.
I help with 1 die. That's how that works.
Yep.
Okay.
So control and engineering, you're looking for a 12, Commander. You rolled 3 dice, right?
Oh, yeah. I got 2 1s and a 17.
Holy shit.
So that's 4.
4 successes.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay.
We're building a lot of momentum.
You
here.
are building a lot of damn great rolls. Okay. Critical success
coming up, Millhouse.
So
get those dice. You're good.
Does anything special happen? Like, do critical successes mean like
it counts as 2 successes?
Yeah.
Critical
okay.
success.
All right. So Yeah, you don't hear anything wrong with that transporter beam as it comes down.
Yes.
Yeah, the new set of pattern enhancers materializes, and you have them. What does that look like for you, Commander Thravik? What do you want, and what do you want to do with them? Where do you want to deploy them? Like, what's the plan here? Meanwhile, time is also rolling.
Well, I said we've already got people in here. I know we're going to be getting the transporter working, but I think we should probably set them up in here where we have people right now.
Make it bigger.
Make it bigger.
Make it bigger.
Bigger batches.
Pattern enhancers aren't going to generally be good inside of a location. You're going to want to get
I was going to say probably in the courtyard right outside the building.
Yeah, because if you set them up in here, it's not gonna. You're not gonna have a clear line to the challenger.
Sure. So yeah, we'll just right outside the door, close to here, so we can get people quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to do that now, or are you going to attempt to lure figure out what to do with the Bryozoans because they're still in the way?
Well, the doctor and I are still down at the core.
Okay, so
wing.
Let's move on to you guys real quick while they've got their success with the transporter. What would you like to do, Lieutenant? Or sorry, Commander?
I'd say we amplify the power to the core, to the reactor core, and see how the tendrils react to it.
Okay.
Is it healthy to be down here? Just from a doctor's point of view.
I think we're supposed to ask you that.
Can I determine whether this is like, if we crank this, is this going to be problematic for?
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea first.
Roll a insight and science, Dr. Voraal, for a difficulty of for a 14 and a difficulty of 2.
Okay, I'm gonna take a point of momentum since
you have it
down to 5.
Yeah,
got it.
All right, so I'll roll 3. A 4, 7, and a 17.
4, 7, and a 17, and it was a difficulty of 2. So you got it. You're good. Ooh. So the radiation's not great, right? It's radiation. No matter what, radiation sucks. It's eventually, if you were to be here for a long time and hang out this core like not properly equipped, you're going to start feeling effects. But 2 hours and you're going to be gone, whether you have survivors or not. You're going to be okay.
Okay,
but you don't want to stick around too long with the radiation.
Yes,
understood.
Go to 11.
But if you pump it up,
pump it up.
All right. Pop it, please.
I crank up the core.
Okay. How far would you like to crank it up?
Let's go halfway first. So instead of going
above what it's already at?
Yeah.
Okay.
150%?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, no. Well, we do think we should start, Doctor.
I mean, out of character, I'm just speaking to the whole, like, probably in the world of percents, things don't really go very far above 100.
Okay, so let's go to 105 then.
I think that makes sense. Like, it's something.
Okay.
I think all I'm saying is, realistically speaking, anything above 110%, you're a miracle worker.
Okay, so then let's go to 105.
Okay. So that is going to be a control and engineering. Looking at 15. They know who Starfleet is, so I'm imagining there's been a first and second contact mission here. You could read this stuff. It's, you're able to use this technology, so we'll call it difficulty of 2.
Okay. Anyone object if I use a momentum? We have 5.
Do it.
Go ahead.
Do it.
Okay, got 3 now. Oh, of course. 11, 16, and 15.
Okay.
2 successes.
11. Sorry, can you read that again?
11, 15, 16.
Yep, 2 successes. Whew, by the skin of your teeth. Okay, so you pump it up to 105, and as you predict, the Bryozoans, the ones that you fought before, not the same ones, but the same, level of Bryozoan, they start to writhe, and they are like, They feel it. They want it. But they're also, they want it. They don't move though. They don't move. Okay. So, but they've definitely noticed it, and they're lashing out more and injuring a few of the refugees.
Is it agitating them?
No, they do want it.
Okay.
Sounds like they thrive on the radiation as opposed to don't want it.
So does that mean we gotta keep dialing it up?
Well, only go to 110. Could try to go to 110.
Do you want to just try that? Do you want to check in with your commander? So you've already done it at 105?
I was going to check in with the commander. Okay. Commander, we've pumped the core up to 105%. The aliens are responding to it and they're getting angrier, but it seems like they want the radiation. Do you want me to try to pump it up to 110%?
Yes, go ahead and do the 110. If that doesn't work, we'll find another solution.
Understood.
Okay, so you're bumping it up to a 10?
110, yep.
Simon, you're my rules guy. He did it once successfully. Should I bring the difficulty down? I know.
You put me in a weird position because, strictly speaking, as a GM, I would have made this more difficult to go to higher percentages. Like, we're talking about, you take the safeties off, you can go a little bit higher in something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
pushing it further is like you're riding the line sort of stuff.
Yeah, and
I'm looking to put this thing close to red line. So
from a mechanically speaking, like
he's a good engineer. Like this is like
the same operation.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I don't know if I would. Yeah, that's a good point. So you're trying to bring it to 105 to 110, or you're trying to get to 115?
Good night. Up to 110.
You're trying to crank it, right? Like, to whatever we can at this point.
At this point, we can do 110, or I can try to completely go
max it out.
Shoot the works, right?
Okay,
max it out.
I mean, we gotta pull the aliens, so I think it's just a matter of like as far as we can go without it just failing.
Okay, so I'm going to
clear the path. They're like stuck in a lift, right?
They're stuck basically, like, you know how they come up from the ground? They're stuck right in front of that lift. So you guys know, one, they're coming through rifts, and they can also burrow. So
and there's that gap between the lift and the floor,
Yep.
Okay.
So they can go,
So they can get there. We don't need to open doors or...
If this works. Hopefully they just go back down towards the core.
Is there a way?
I would also just put it in your head that if this does work, and if they do want to move towards it, the two of you are in the room. Yeah.
And I'm upstairs.
Yeah, well,
and they're upstairs, so
we're gonna run like hell once we get this.
Yeah.
If this works.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Is that gonna affect the transporters that are upstairs that we're currently trying to get to work to get people into?
I would say no. I think you're good.
Because we're in the same building.
Same building, but if they're going to burrow and you're above, it should be okay.
They're extra sparkly now.
Yeah.
Okay, so would it be possible for me to push this reactor up slowly and until we get to a point where I'm practically redlining it, basically, where the safety, where we really could be concerned about safety at that point?
If you want to do a slow, like just another bump up to like 110, like if you just want to try in increments, I'll keep it at difficulty 2. But if you want to just like keep going up, I'm going to bump this up to a difficulty of 3, where you're kind of gradually trying to, like you're basically trying to harness a core, and that can get tricky than just saying dial up a notch.
Doctor, suggestion?
You're the engineer. Like, listen, it's as safe as it's going to be. And
all right.
The risks here are the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the two.
Okay. And I'm going to go to 110 then, Julian.
You're going to just do the little notch up? Okay,
Yep.
so difficulty
see what
2.
happens with that. Okay.
And a 15 again, yep.
19 and 11. Yeah.
Okay, so you had 1 success and 1 failure. So Do you want to you could succeed at cost, which would give me an extra threat, or you rolled a 19,
which is a complication, I believe.
It is. I'm just looking at the. Yeah, it is a complication, or I can give you a complication.
Suggestion, Commander.
I'd say take the threat. We need to get this working.
Yeah, we'll take the threat.
Okay. I take a threat back, and you succeed at cost. You bump it up, and the Bryozoans, they start really, really writhing. They snap towards like where the radiation is emanating from. They're almost in unison, doing like a dance,
wacky waving, flailing two men.
Their focus is no longer on the refugees. They're still blocking the path, but their focus is dead on where the radiation, but they don't quite know what to do. So it's working, but they haven't moved yet.
All right, do I want to take a chance and try to move this up to 115, even though it's going to be, I'm going to have to do it at a high difficulty?
I'd say do it.
We've got the momentum. You've got determination.
If you go up to 115, it'll be another difficulty 2. But if you just try to like harness this thing and like, kind of like Scotty it and do it slowly, like it takes a little bit more calculation to try and, keep it steady. So that'll be a difficulty 3.
Can I assist at this point? Since I haven't assisted in any like as a extra D20.
Yeah, you can, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're in the room with him, so that's totally allowed. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should I think I should Scotty it then and try to harness it instead of just bumping it up slowly.
Max it out.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's a difficulty 3 and control and engineering again for 15. And Simon's going to lend a die as well.
Are you using momentum as well?
And I will spend.
Yeah.
And you're going to spend momentum.
Spend a determination and my what's that other thing? What do we got one of?
Oh, Jesse, the
determination is the one that you get one of, and I think you can automatically just roll 1.
Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll automatically roll 1.
Gives you 2.
So you're using your determination, or nothing.
Yeah, so I'm using my determination. It'll give me a roll 1, which is 2 successes automatically.
Which means you only need 1 more.
That's so. In that case, I'm not going to spend the other between the doctor and I. Excuse me. That's 3 dice. We can do it.
I just want to talk this out real quick. The determination, that's GM discretion, if it makes sense, right?
I thought giving it out was GM determination and using it was ours.
Oh, okay. Well, he has one no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay, well, we could determine later then. If he already has one, then no, you can absolutely use it. Okay. Yeah.
In that case, I'm going to use it to roll the automatic 1.
Okay, so you have 1 automatic success?
Yep.
Okay. And then how many other, and you're spending 1 momentum?
Yes.
So you have...
And I'm assisting.
So yeah, you have like 4 dice to roll right now, I believe.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. All right, go for it.
I got a 5.
Okay, that's a success.
11, 18, 18, plus the 1.
I already have the 1 here, and then you said 18, 18.
11, and 11.
Yeah, you get it because the extra from Simon. So yeah. Whew. Okay. So you start cranking it. Okay. What does this look like to you as you're doing it?
Slowly raising the controls, keeping an eye on the core to notice any severe changes.
I'm probably like yelling back some status stuff so that you know what's happening.
Tracking tracking the exposure we're taking.
Okay, awesome. So as you're doing this, it's up to 115 now, and they are like, they smell it. It's like, ooh, okay, all right. But they're still just a little bit, and then 120 hits, and they burrow as fast as possible. You would hear this coming. They're big. Okay, so they're coming. I will give
Time
you
to get the hell out of
opportunity.
Jesus,
run, Doctor! We need to get out of here now.
Okay, so you guys run out of the room. They're burrowing, and then boom! You guys hear the explosion of this group. There's 6 of them that were there blocking the transport. They are now at the core, and they are feeding on this radiation. Okay. Now, who knows what's going to happen? Because even though the city is inevitably going to fall, we know that this is inevitable at this point.
Go faster.
The core is still keeping things going, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so where this leaves us, we have an opening now to the transport
Lift.
up, and you guys have the transport successful. What are you doing?
Is there a door?
People.
Oh, we need to take the pattern enhancers outside and set them up.
And I can assist with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to start getting people to the enhancers and to the pad.
And
So I'm going to give the enhancers to Lieutenant Jaxa. Go set these up, and I'm going to start corralling some of these refugees out through the lift.
okay. So as you do that, okay, Dr. Voraal has these, and as you're heading towards the refugees, you know that what I say. Did I mess something up? Sorry. Did I call someone the wrong name?
Do I have something?
I thought who did you give you gave it to Lieutenant Jaxa. Thank you. Sorry. So as Lieutenant Jaxa goes with you to get the transport enhancers up to the plaza, these refugees are frightened. They're scared. They started fighting amongst each other. Some of them are hurt. It's chaos, and you don't know if you can calm these down. So you need to figure out how to get these people where they need to go.
Okay, I need to set the transporter buffer up, so I need to take care of that. So the doctor and the commander and lieutenant are going to have to figure out the people for now.
Yep.
Okay.
Am I actively needed at the transporter helping with the computer? Is that what I'm doing for the hour, or?
I would say that because everything is working on your end and it's really a challenger problem more than anything else, the transporter chief will contact you if like any issues arise. But because it's successes, that shouldn't probably happen. Like you should be okay for all. So I don't think you're needed at the transporter pad. But just remember, there are hungry, ravenous monsters a level below you, currently very happy and distracted by the radiation they're feeding off of, but they are there. So
can I watch them?
Yes, you can absolutely. No, I mean that's actually a great question.
It is a good idea.
I mean, I'm gonna pretend that it's to make sure that they don't like leave or anything, and I will. But I also want to.
You're trying to figure out how to save them.
I do want to save them. I want to see if they're gonna wreck the warp core, if they're chill, if they get full and they stop feeding. This is my jam.
They evolve.
Evolve, right?
We've got, like,
suddenly
more
they've got
space babies.
spikes, and we've got Audrey 2 outside. Like,
Okay, so I take the transporter the parts outside and start to set them up.
Okay, so just so you're aware, if we're looking at this map right now, do you see where it says evacuees?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where our friendly red shirt ensign is doing his current, getting people there and back and up and up. That's taking a while. Shuttles are coming and going slowly because the city is shaking. You probably want to find another open area to get that. Also, around you still everywhere are panicked people. Some areas do have what I would say like a grouping of the Bryozoan. So you have to be where you might come across some of them.
So which building are we in again?
You are in, if you're looking at the map, it's the rectangular building at the very end of the map, which has the two like side. Black vents. Yeah. On the like northeastern side. Yep.
Okay. So if I were to go the intersection of the two paths there below the greenery, if I were to go there and set them up, would that be far enough out of the way that?
Yeah. I mean, that should be, yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
I'm thinking out loud as a Trekkie right now. Like
far enough away that it's not going to interfere with the other one.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What I'm
like if you're setting it up there, is that going to interfere with the signal from those? Because that does, even though it's a central plaza, it still seems like not a large space.
What if I set it up down in a triangle?
I see. Are you talking about this like southern triangle?
Yes, the southern one.
Yeah, that's an option. I think that's
all right.
A little bit.
I'm gonna
okay. If we're looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, I would say 1, to, because that's it's technically
for all you listening out there. Julian is pointing at a thing that we can only assume where he's pointing.
If you're watching, you will have the map up on the video. If you're listening, I'm sorry. My concern with that too is that's still within that area, like on the map. It's still like if you go green and then you go into that triangle, it's just I would say if you want to set up in this triangle, you have to be in this little corner that's in this like second like dotted line area. That little tiny triangle there would need to be.
Okay, so what if I head over towards near the beam-in location and set up there?
Yeah, no, because yes, no, 100%. Yes, you could do that.
All right, then I'm going to head that way.
Okay, cool.
At speed.
How do we
control the crowd?
Walking fast.
How do we control the crowd, Commander? I don't think firing a phaser in the air is going to do much in this panic state that everybody's in.
I don't know.
I mean, I can holler, but I don't know if that's going to work.
Ravik, you're a Starfleet commander.
Yeah.
You can get people's attention.
Yeah.
You have intense, like, I'm not saying that helps, but like you're an intense character. So, I mean,
right.
Meanwhile, the crowd is getting even more restless. They're starting to bottleneck at the transport because they want to get up to the shuttles. So something needs to happen.
At this point, all I can do is I'm thinking I'm going to holler at them. Hold up. We're here to help, but you have to listen and calm down. We do have a physician here that can help the wounded.
Okay. It works a little bit, but people they're scared. They've already been fighting with each other. Some people are listening, but people are starting to ask you frantic questions. How many shuttles are available? Are the transporters operational? We need to get out of here. My family's on another level. How do we get to them? How is Starfleet going to help us? What do we do? And people start panicking again.
We are working on the transporter to get multiple people out of here.
But why is it taking so long?
Because there's interference from the atmosphere. And it's going to take a while to convert our cargo bay. We also have enhancers outside. There's a second one being set up that's going to be able to get people out. And we have multiple shuttles that are taking this back and forth. But again, there's interference, so it's taking longer to get them down. We are working our best.
People are listening a little bit, but they're on their communicators. They're still frantic. I kind of like Simon's idea. You might actually want to shoot a phaser up into this spot.
Shocking something big. You got to do something big.
Yep. So
I also think that would be very in character for you, in my opinion.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I'm going to take my phaser on stun. I'm not killing anybody. And I'm going to shoot it up into the air to get their attention.
Are there any birds on this planet?
Yeah, that bird died.
Wait, isn't there a liquid layer of pre-warp
below us? It's below us.
They're below. It's fine. It's fine. It was on stun. Yeah, they see one. The Andorian part of you is already like people respect Andorians. They know they're no bullshit. Like some people were already starting to listen to you. Now this crowd goes fucking silent. They are ready to take direction.
All right. I need to see who's wounded so we can get doctor to help.
I start using my bedside manner to sort of corral people that need to be checked out, probably.
Okay. Do you want to scan people and see if there's any? So you have two things that you could utilize. You can see if there's, I'm sure there are probably some civilians who would be willing to help, whether that's wanting to start staging groups once this hour is up to start getting transported up to the cargo bay, and groups slowly that are no longer, stampeding the transport up, splitting them up. So, but Simon or Dr. Voraal as a doctor, some people might need to get up quicker if they have medical needs.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I think I'm again sort of triaging to trying to find the people who need to get up there faster. And then if I could make a suggestion, Commander, we should start conscripting anybody who has the ability to kind of like direct traffic.
Yep. So I will find out if there's any of their leaders or anybody who is in a leadership role that can help with directing their own people.
Okay, so are you asking all of these?
I'm asking the crowd.
Okay, so some of these, there's a lot of like frantic answers. Like the people have calmed down now that they know like things should theoretically be okay. But there's some frantic answers. You hear out of all of them, one voice in the crowd said, "We had some some of our leaders here earlier, but they've since gone up to the central plaza. They're not here right now. You might want to check there. You could probably still find someone at least here to help you down here. And let's say, yeah, hi, I could assist. I used to work the transporter pads."
All right. That sounds good. So you know how to direct traffic.
Okay, so, all right, groups, start lining up. Groups of 25 each. The guy starts corralling people to make groups for the transporter when it's available.
All right.
When am I going to get across the plaza?
You're going to get across the plaza. We're getting there. I promise.
Okay. All right.
It's happening.
Dr. Voraal, you're triaging still?
Yes.
Okay.
We're looking to pick out anybody who needs immediate medical attention, to get them up to the facilities first on the ship.
Okay. As you're scanning, you notice that there are some people with bad burns who were in that attack when there was like that bottleneck and the Bryozoans attacked, and when they get stung, it feels like a really bad burn, and it looks like it too.
Okay. Is there anything I can do for them now to like sort of stabilize them, or hit them with morphine or the equivalent?
I would say like you'd probably want to give them like some kind of like analgesic cream, or some kind of burn cream, like if you have like a hypo spray that helps with burns or something like that.
Okay.
I would say that luckily there's not really any severe injuries, but if you want to triage, you could do that down here now, or which might help calm people down, or just focus on getting them up to Challenger.
Probably start to triage, since that'll look like aid efforts. And then also, I know with the first batch of stuff, we were just sending people up willy-nilly. So
yeah.
Probably need to slow down the rate of people going to sick bay.
Yeah, agreed. All right. So it's a small group, so I'll allow just one roll for kind of like triaging this group at once. What do you first tell me what you want to do? Like, how do you want to go about this? What do you want to do to them?
Sure. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to make sure that people are going to stay stable. Like the most injured people need to stay stable longer and like mobile enough that they can, stand on a pad or like be helped along by somebody. Basically take care of anybody who's incapacitated.
Okay. So it's a group of like 5 or 10. You roll a control and medicine, please, for a 15 and a difficulty of 2.
Should I use momentum? What are we at right now?
3.
Can't hurt.
I
can't hurt.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll use a momentum. We have a 3, a 12, and a 16.
Okay. So you had your 2 successes. You're good. You start to triage. What does that look like for you? What are you doing to them?
I think, some analgesic creams are going on people with burns so that they can, be more mobile, and anybody who's seriously incapacitated, we're I don't know, splinting them or giving them something that they can fight through the pain and just stay conscious and get to the ship.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So you're successful at that. People are thanking you. They're very grateful. They right from the beginning of the story, people recognize who Starfleet are. They are hope. So people are very thankful for what you're doing and for helping. As you're doing this and groups are starting to go up the lift and making the groups in front of the transporter, you hear a very loud commotion happening topside. I'll let you guys, I'm going to switch scenes real quick. I'm going to go to Lieutenant Jaxa. You're running towards where you're going to set up the pattern enhancers.
Yes.
I would assume you're there. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I will set up the pattern enhancers.
Okay.
Or attempt to.
Okay. That is going to be a control and engineering. Yeah, you're just going to keep rolling those control and engineerings. You've done this before. It's a difficulty of 2 for 15.
19 and a 5.
Okay, so that is a fail. Again, you could succeed at cost, or I can give you a complication.
Give me a complication.
All right, so the pattern enhancers, 2/3 of them do activate, just like the other time. The challengers not have a good supply of. You can tell they haven't been had a good requisition in a long time, so you need to start repairs on that third pylon, basically.
Okay.
But I'm going to interrupt you. As you start to do that, you also hear this very loud commotion. Okay? So there is chaos happening topside all of a sudden. So think about that, and also everybody down below, think about that as well.
What? Figure out what that commotion is.
All right, what do you do?
I'm gonna go outside and see if I can see what's going on.
So you're going to take the lift up, Director Voraal or Lieutenant Hernandez. You might want to contact your crew to see where everybody is. If
I'm in the room with the plants.
Yeah, I know.
Do I see anything changing with them?
I would say that because you're in a reactor room and you're with them, you don't hear what's happening up topside.
But have I noticed anything changing? Because I am looking at the plants. So did anything change with them?
They're feeding. They are feeding. I wouldn't even say that they're aware of you right now. No, nothing has changed.
No.
Okay.
Is the doctor
Has
still
their
treating?
actions affected the core? That I can
not in the small amount of time that they've been feeding. No.
Okay.
All right, so
the doctor's still treating?
Doctor has done his triage. He's good.
Yeah, we've done my triage. I'm probably moving up with everybody that I got mobile.
Okay. All right. So are you guys all taking the lift up, like the people that you've triaged to go ahead and get up a Challenger, and you're coming up to Commander Thravik?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. As you get topside, and Lieutenant Ven Jaxa, you obviously see this too. A horrible tearing and screeching sound shakes the city of Cressida, and the ground moves with enough force to knock everyone off their feet, which it does. Civilians and Starfleet personnel alike stare in horror as one of the domes, a full third of the city, peels away from the rest of the structures and begins a slow, devastating fall into the planet's lower atmosphere. A richly dressed Orion woman turns towards you and shouts, "There's still evacuees over there!" End of Act 1 and end of Scene 3.
Oh.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Oh.
I mean, we weren't going to get everybody.
Well, you're
the stakes. The stakes have to stay high.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did this take place off of our map?
No, this is on your map. I'm trying to figure out what section. There's this like circular section here. I'm kind of trying to imagine it. And since we haven't really been over there, I'm going to probably say that that's a dome, and that is the dome that's fallen. So
right in front of you, Jaxa.
Right in front of Jaxa.
Yeah. No, Jaxa's on the other side. No, he could see it though. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So that is the end of Act 1.